Bill, as we were talking before we went on, a lot of young players. We've talked to a few coaches. We said nobody's taking up a collection for you, but talk to us a little bit about some of the young guys you've got around a guy like a Chasen Allen who comes back for you.
Well, I mean, first off, it's just great to have Chasen Allen back. Yeah. I'd have to get introduced to all our players then, but whenever you have a guy like Chasen Allen with the ball in his hands, you got to feel pretty good. And we do have a large group of younger players. We have 9 freshmen and sophomores. And I think one of the huge keys for us this year is that sophomore group has to step up and maybe play like juniors and seniors. But they all had an opportunity last year to contribute, and but they played behind a talented group of seniors. And now they're excited for their opportunity and really get a chance to get out and show people what they can do.
Well, let me go back in time a year and talk about one of those seniors, Matt Janning, who I think will go down as one of the best guards to ever play in the CAA, is getting an opportunity in the NBA. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, how lucky was I to start a program off with a guy like Matt Janning? You know, just a great person, terrific student, and everybody knows what he did on the basketball court. But really, he's living the dream. And he says it himself. He's come from a small town in Minnesota. In the middle of his senior year, didn't have a Division I scholarship, and now he's out there playing with Grant Hill and Steve Nash and Jared Dudley and everything else. And he's just having the time of his life. Couldn't be more proud of him.
That's wonderful. He's a fine young man.
Yeah.
So he's traded the snow of Boston for the sun of Phoenix?
That's right.
And a kid from Minnesota, he can't be hating that, right?
And I think he lets all his ex-teammates know about it, too.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we also remember what an effective player a guy like Manny Adako was for you. You mentioned Chasen Allen, great defensive player. Alwyn Begley is another young man who got some time for you, another good defensive player. Is that going to be a key now for you, really kind of getting things done on the defensive end of the floor this year?
I think so. We're going to rely on our defense as we have in years past, but we don't have that explosive scorer on the perimeter outside of Chase. We don't have an established low post scorer. So in order to stay in games each and every night, we're going to need our defense to be there for us. And Alwyn was a big part of that last year. He's time tested. He's got some game time and faced some CAA opponents. But he has to build on that. And as I said, he's a part of that sophomore class with John Lee and Joel Smith, Alwyn Begley, Kari Black, and Diko Marshavelski. All those guys have to step up and fill some big shoes.
Begley had some good moments offensively, I thought, last year as the season went on.
He really did, and I don't think it was he's the ultimate team player.
Mm-hmm.
So we had 2 guys with Matt Janning and Chasen Allen out on the perimeter, and he knew his job and his role was to really get out and give it up on the defensive end and really help shut down the other team's best perimeter player. And he did that very, very effectively for us last year. This year he's going to need a little bit more.
I've been very intrigued when you look at your roster and as you prepare for games sometimes. I've had to go to Google Maps to find out where Cape Verde is. I mean, you've gotten guys from all over the place. Yeah. France, yep. From Cape Verde, from Begley from England. What is the kind of the recruiting profile, and how are you finding these guys so internationally?
Yeah, well, I think there are a couple things that contribute to that, Alice. And one, is we play in a terrific basketball league, and the CAA is a league that's recognized nationally. We can go out in any part of the country, and right away they know it's brand recognition. They know that they're going to play in a terrific league. I work at a tremendous academic institution. It's really one of the elite academic institutions in the country, and then we live in a world-class city. So when you combine those things, you can walk into a young man's home almost anywhere in the country and have a complete package to sell. And we've been fortunate enough to come away with a couple of those guys and really convince them to come into Boston and spend some time with us.
Well, you, as we know, and as you've said, you got a young team in many ways. How does your schedule, is it conducive to these young guys? I know the answer
Absolutely
to this.
not.
So I want you to tell.
Last year we had by the RPI ratings, the 9th toughest non-conference schedule in the country. Unfortunately, whoever does the scheduling, and I think that would be me, the guy's not too smart because it's the same exact schedule. And we have those teams coming back. But the silver lining is our fans are going to get treated to some terrific basketball. We have Siena coming to our place for homecoming. We're at Southern Illinois at the ESPN Marathon game. We're in ESPN's tournament down in Cancun and play some national competition there, as well as the BUs, Providence, URI. So it's another great non-conference schedule before we get to the meat of the year, which is the CAA tournament, CAA conference play.
And speaking of the CAA, we talk about how this conference has changed over the years. With the additions of schools like Northeastern and Georgia State, bringing this conference so much more of a larger footprint on the entire East Coast.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Our footprint, when you look at the CAA, it goes from Boston all the way to Atlanta, and you play in all the major media markets, and I think that's attractive for recruits. When you're going to play in Boston and New York and Philadelphia and D.C. and Atlanta, our kids get excited about that, playing in those type of venues.
Bill, good luck this year. Great having you with us.
Thanks for having me.